think sweepstakes for Arch Manning is the Saints. Of course, I did that because his grandfather played for him. When his grandson played for him, they taken for him already, and the season ain't even started. Nobody not going to talk about him other than Bless One. I said, yeah, other than Bless One. But that's about it. See, this is what I said. When Arch Manning come out, nobody gonna have the same energy that they had for Shador. It's business as usual. Just like I said when Eli Manning, when he didn't want to go to the Chargers, what happened? He went to New York. Phillip Rivers went to the Chargers. If the roles were reversed, Phillip Rivers would have went to the Jazz and had two Super Bowl rings. Eli Manning wouldn't have had two Super Bowl rings, but that goes to show you how much power, influence, whatever you want to call, that the Manning family have on the NFL. And Chris Carter, you said the league short told Dion at your door they don't run shit, right? That's what you said, Chris. Well, obviously the Mannings and the NFL they run shit because just like I said, Eli got to where he got. Eli got to where he gonna go. And you think the Manning family not gonna push Arch Manning to the Saints? Of course they going. Of course they're gonna push him to the Saints. Like I said, his granddad played there. They got a home in there. They got a home down there. It just makes sense. So if I'm Shador, if I'm Dion, I wouldn't want to go down there because I already know who they taking for. They taking for Arch Manning, Spencer Rattler, and Tyler Salt. They not, they not cutting it in the preseason. Their quarterback battle still going on. Did Spencer Rattler come out too soon? I think he did. Um, Tyler Salt is no excuse for him because he played he played a lot of football. He should be ahead of Ty. He should be ahead of Spencer Rattler. Excuse me. How you doing, SG? Yeah. Who else need a quarterback? Let me see. Maybe the Jets. Maybe the Jets. Who else? Um, the Rams. But I like to see Shador go to the Rams because if he shouldn't go to the Saints because Arch Manning is favored to go there. I would say I give it 70 70% Arch Manning goes there because Spencer Rattler not Kellen quarterback. He didn't draft him. He drafted Tyler Scott, but he already trying to move off with Tyler Scott. Who do I think won the Super Bowl? Um, it's too early. It's too early right now, but I would say the Eagles. I touch on that when I finish talking about the tank for Arch Manning. But it already begun. It already begun. The tank for Arch Manning has begun, and you know they're gonna have some say in where he go. Just like just like just like Archie Manning had say where Eli went, but see, they made a big fuss about Dion. Uh, when he said Shador not gonna go this place and this place. Well, when it's Arch Manning and the Manning family, the gold standard, it's all crickets, it's all hush hush. You gotta go years later. You gotta go and find it on YouTube or on the internet. But we already know what's in play. I'm surprised he ain't come out this year. All these other quarterbacks they have a chance to be in the number one spot. Gary Nussmeyer, what's my name? Um, um, the he went to Miami. Yeah, he have a chance to get the number one spot. Um, what's that? Bryce Underwood. When he come out, he have a chance to be at the number one spot. But my opinion, I see it's between Gary Nussmeyer and Arch Manning for the number one spot in this year's draft. I think right now Gary Nussmeyer is better than Arch Manning. Why I say that? Because Gary Nussmeyer had been a starter, played a lot of football, and Gary Nussmeyer, he can run, but he's a pocket passer. And we know some running quarterbacks don't last long. I mean, you look at RG3, um, Steve Young. He started out his career at the quarterback position running around. Then years later, he started throwing the ball. Tim Tebow ain't last long. Why is that? Because he couldn't throw the ball. He ran the option, and his defense has always had to keep it close. I thought there was I thought it was a travesty when Tim Tebow was in New York. First, they made Tim Tebow put all that weight on. They said he was gonna be a fullback, and then they said he was gonna compete with Mark Sanchez for the starting job. Even though Mark Sanchez won outright. So I want to know who Who else gonna be in play for Arch Manning? We already know the Saints. That's their hometown team. That's where they from. Also, I want to know this, man. Is the Manning family, is they putting money in the Saints' pocket by obviously drafting them? Because it's a, I think they worked out a deal under the table. That's just me. I'm saying it. And I respect the Manning family? Absolutely, I do. But I just don't like the way how they do business. If they could do business like that, other former football players should do that for their families, like like Deion Sanders tried to do for Shador, and they cost them money. We know Shador is better than Arch Manning. We know that. We know he shouldn't have dropped. See, this is what I hate, the stereotypes. When there's a white quarterback, if he's confident, if he's brash, if he's arrogant, that's acceptable. But if you're a black quarterback, none of that is acceptable. Even though I could go a list down the list of names who was a bust at the position that was white. A lot, Tim Couch. Um, who else? Brady Quinn. Matthew Leinart. Jay Locker. Ryan Leaf. And Ryan Leaf, that's a good example. He was the what number one pick. Played with the Chargers. Had a good couple games, but he couldn't control his temper. And I think um, Peyton Manning was second. Look how that did. Look how that turned out. So just because Archie Manning the number one quarterback, if when he come out, that don't mean that his career gonna pan out that way. Because I see some guys that's already that's better than him at the quarterback position. Like I said, a Bryce Underwood better than him, and he ain't even take a snap at Michigan yet. Um, guy at Oklahoma, Bowen, he's better than him, and he didn't even take a snap at Oklahoma yet. So who behind the tank? I think it's the Manning family one, the Saints, upper brass. They in on it. And I want to know what the Saints organization promised them already when they One Arch Manning didn't even take his first snap yet. He won't take his first snap until next week. So, man, we'll see what he look like. I mean, the few games that he played, and he look good. But it's all about where you go, and is that organization stable? Do the Jets tank for Archie Manning? Do Arizona tank for Archie Manning? Um, who else? Um, After this year, the Steelers they not going to do it. Um, Trying to think of the bad teams. Um, even though they pay Brock Purdy, the 49ers, I wouldn't be surprised if they take for Arch Manning the 49ers, because we know how people say that Kyle Shanahan is the best thing since sliced bread. He a quarterback whisperer, so they say. But he not that. He not the quarterback whisperer. Yeah, how you doing, uh, Micah? Hopefully I said your name right. Yeah, but I'm just in here talking about our Arch Manning, and what team's gonna tank for him. The first team that we know that's gonna tank for him is the Saints, because Spencer Rattler and Tyler Salt they not panning out. So the tank for Arch Manning is on. And I gave you guys a couple names. Micah, let me bring you up to speed on who names on what team, excuse me, that I think going tank for Arch Manning. The Jets. I think the Jets, Arizona, the 49ers, or the Dolphins. I can see the Dolphins tanking for him, because we know Tua one hit away from his career being over. We know that, and Tua came in the league being injured. Like Shannon always say, how you come into the season, that's how you going. That's how you going in the season, being injured. So yeah, and Michael, like I said, I think the Saints and the Manning family have a deal already worked out. Um, payment was under the table. So it is what it is, man. It is a double standard. And Chris Carter, I want to see if you say the same thing about the Manning family like you did Dion Isidore. But I know you're not. We all know you're not gonna say that the Manning family don't run shit. We know you're gonna be quiet on that. And then they talk about it, how Shador did in his interviews. That's just confident. Do y'all not know who his father is? His father is one of the best cornerbacks of all time. You think he's not gonna be confident? You think he's not gonna be uh arrogant because he believes in his abilities? Of course. And they talk about what they always want in a leader. Shador is that. Tom Brady is that. But when we do, we too volatile, we aggressive, can't play with them, can't coach with them, to use Mike Singletary line. Let me see who else. Um, at some point, do do the Chargers tank for Arch Manning? Just a question. After this year, does Pittsburgh do it? Even though they going all in, at some point, do Green Bay get tired of Jordan Love being injury prone and throw their name in the hat? These are the questions that I'm raising concern about. Well, um, we know the NFL is is rigged. We know that we know Dylan's going all the time, just like politics, backdoor agreements, and how many of you guys watched the Cowboy documentary? I have, and Jerry Jones, he he had Jimmy Johnson. The thing was, when Michael Irvin was still in college, before I'm sorry, before Michael Irvin got drafted, Jimmy Johnson called and he said, "If the 49ers draft you, I'ma come with you." And it just so happened that Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, they went to Tom Landry's favorite restaurant, and they spotted them at Tom Landry favorite restaurant. Yeah, yeah. So that's what I see. But all the other teams in the league set. So yeah, I mean, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Who and I mean, no, let me rephrase that. What teams do y'all see taking for Arch Manning? I gave y'all my list. Put y'all teams in the comment section, and we'll talk about the teams that y'all came up, the teams that y'all came up with, and I'll do part two to this video. Also before I leave, Arch Manning, he did his first commercial. When was that? Over the summer? I ain't seen no other college quarterback do any commercials before they started their their career at the quarterback position. You know why he did that? Because he had time on his hands to do that. And Texas, they wanted to let the whole nation know that he's next up. So I'm not gonna hold you guys up any longer. Y'all have a nice day out there. Um, Fellas, if she wanna leave, let her leave. It's no, it's no point of putting your hands on her or killing her. Just let her leave because both of you are valuable to your family, to your community. Ladies, if he want to leave, let him leave. It's no point in killing him because, just like I said, both of you are valuable members to your family and your communities. And with that, I'm out. Peace.